This video brought to you by Forex Internals.
Hi, and welcome to the Forex Internals MultiBar Basket indicator demonstration. Today we'll be showing you what MultiBar Basket indicator looks like and what its settings are. Let me give you a brief overview. The MultiBar Basket takes a basket of currencies and measures the strength of one currency against the entire basket across two different time periods. In other words, we can measure the strength of the euro against every major currency over the last, say, 8 hours and last 13 hours to see if the euro is in general gaining strength or losing strength. And you can use it to potentially trade one of the leading euro currencies like the euro dollar, or if you wanted to make a basket trade and trade all the euro currencies expecting the euro to have a general rise. When you use a FX internals measurement like we're using now, it's very, very important, in fact critical, that we have 1 minute data loaded for all of the major currencies. And for us, that means the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, the euro, the New Zealand dollar, the pound, the dollar Swiss, dollar CAD, and yen loaded in a 1 minute bar chart. This is because MetaTrader 4 uses 1 minute bars to construct all the other time frames, like the 30-minute or 15-minute. So if we wanted to take a 15-minute measurement of another currency, we need the 1 minute data available to do that. So once you have those loaded, we come over here and select MultiBar Basket and just drag it onto our chart. And now we'll go through the settings. The first thing we do is go to Common and make sure that Allow DLL Imports is selected. All of our indicators in trading tools need Allow DLL imports to be selected in order to operate. Then we'll go to Inputs and walk you through the settings. The first is what currency do we want to measure? In this case, it's the euro, the EUR. You could input USD for the US dollar or CHF for Swiss franc, etc. Time frame def has the acceptable valid entries for the time frame setting, which is what time frame do we want to look at. A setting of 0 indicates that we want to look at the time frame for the chart that it's on. Short periods and long periods are the two time frames, the two look backs of number of periods back that we want to measure the strength of the currency on. So in this case, we're going to look at the 8 and 13 period difference. Is the euro gaining strength over the last 8 periods versus 13 periods? Sort of like a moving average cross on the euro as a whole, as opposed to just on the euro dollar. ROC type, rate of change type, is what type of rate of change we're using. The acceptable definitions can be seen in our documentation. They are 0, which means we want to use a standard moving average, or a 1, which means we want to use a instantaneous trend line, which is a low pass band filter on the data itself that we use in digital signal processing. If this is a 1, we will use ROC, short periods and long periods, to differentiate. We're going to leave it as a 0. The next is, do we smooth or average out the data to reduce some of the whippiness or noise in the data? We're going to use a smoothing type of 1, which is the EMA, the exponential moving average, but you can use any of the definitions here, long weighted or simple moving average, etc. We'll smooth it for 3 periods. And then the price type is what is the price that we're actually going to be doing the calculation on. The open, the close, the median price. We tend to use the typical price, which is the high plus the low plus the close divided by 3. Scroll down and finish up here. On this, you can either get the sum of the strengths or the average of the strengths, meaning we can either add up the strength of the euro, in this case against the Australian dollar, the US dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the pound dollar, etc., or we can take the average of their strengths. In this case, we're just going to use the average and hit OK. Well, actually, before we do that, we'll go to colors, and because we're using a white background, I'm going to make sure that this is black. And then hit OK, so things can be seen very clearly. Now you see we get this nice histogram with 2 lines. The red line is the shorter time period strength of the euro across all currencies. In this case, the average strength across all currencies. The green line is the strength of the euro across the longer time period. In this case, you can see here the periods are 8 and 13. So you can see that in this time, and let me just interrupt, the histogram here shows the difference of those two things. So you can see that the shorter time period here is showing that the euro is tending to lose strength compared to the longer time period of look back. So this would in general indicate that you should see the euro-based currencies to start to lose value. And you'll notice up here that we have a slight rise in the euro dollar, while the euro dollar here is in this negative position. And you see that the euro is falling on an 8-period basis and the euro is falling on a 13-period basis. But yet you have this small little uptick of a move that just doesn't really seem sustainable. And lo and behold, you have a pretty significant fall in the euro dollar of some 200 pips or so. That concludes our demonstration of the MultiBar Basket. We hope you enjoyed it, and we suggest that you go to www.fxinternals.com to take a look at videos for our other indicators and trading tools, and we wish you the best of luck in trading.